There's our guy. He's just come up and heading in the direction of the vehicle. Pick him up, pick him up. Understood, on our way. Turn around, spread your legs. I'm cooperating, it's okay. You shot at me. End of the exercise period, end of the exercise. How was that, tough? Fairly. It's impressive. Even if it's just an exercise, it's realistic. I think it's better to be on the side of the good guys. These elite police undergo such realistic training sessions once a week. As members of the BRI, the French National Search and Intervention Brigade, they are used to special training. Only 40 officers make up the unit. Its principal mission, to fight organized crime. The Châteaudun prison in the west of France, about 70 kilometers from Paris. This time the brigade is not on an exercise. It's 5 in the morning at the prison's central car park, and everything looks calm. Hidden inside this van with tinted windows is Clément, an investigator with the BRI. His eyes are glued to the prison. He's waiting for the departure of a man the brigade is particularly interested in. It's a prisoner who has almost finished serving his sentence. Every month he's entitled to a 5-day leave. According to police information, the man might use his leave to organize a robbery. At 6:30, a woman shows up at reception. I've spotted a woman with long brown hair, sort of done up at the back. I can confirm it's the woman. She's wearing black trousers, a low-cut black t-shirt, brown leather jacket, and with fur around it. She has long hair in a kind of ponytail. Clement is in radio communication with his colleagues, 10 policemen hidden around the prison compound. Stand by, everybody. Our subject is leaving. Our subject is leaving. He's wearing a light grey jacket, blue jeans, short hair, as in his photo ID. The man on the young girl's arm is called Thierry. He's 38 years old, with a long criminal record, including hold-up with violence and grievous bodily harm. Thierry leaves in his girlfriend's car. He's followed by the men of the BRI. It's the start of a long chase. And the police must keep up. They want to know everything he gets up to. We think he's going to organize a robbery. It's his speciality. Still, we're not sure. We don't know where or when. In order not to lose him, the brigade is at full strength. Altogether, 8 cars and 1 motorbike and a van take it in turns to follow Thierry discreetly. Yes, all proceeding well for your information. I'm at Piquet 59. The car heads for Paris on the motorway. The couple might be heading for his house. In his van, Clement has difficulty in following. But at the last toll station before Paris, the policeman is in for a surprise. Watch out, he's just there, the guy. Hide the cameras, he's just to our left. Careful, everybody. I have the vehicle. Maintain radio silence. The blue car has just passed through the toll booth. Clément alerts his colleague. The motorbike will take over the chase. The biker will discreetly follow the car at a reasonable distance in the next lane. Once in Paris, it will be harder to follow the car. The motorway is crowded and the police risk losing their target. If they lose him, there'll be no way they can find out what Thierry is up to during his leave. There's a Polo pulling out. He's just in front of the Polo. There's heavy traffic here, so we might get the cars mixed up. You know, he could be hidden by other cars and suddenly change direction. A few minutes later, and what they feared has happened. The policemen have lost all trace of the blue car just when it was leaving the ring road. See anything?
Ah non, négatif, hein?
Nope.
Oh, Fred, il est pas passé par là, hein?
It didn't go that way. Clément and another team of investigators do a U-turn. He looks in another area, but the blue car has disappeared.
Eh ben, on a perdu l'objectif.
Oh, we've lost our guy. Another car follows.
Ouais, c'est pris, donc je me dirige vers le Dôme.
Clément goes to the house of Thierry's girlfriend. In theory, the couple should be there at some point during the day.
Alors, ben, on va...
So this way, let's see. Well, this is hostile territory. Yeah, it's not great. I'm going to stop here.
C'est un truc pas super. Là, tiens, là, c'est pas mal.
His girlfriend lives in this housing estate on the Paris suburbs.
T'en penses? C'est bon ici?
This time, Clément is lucky. He quickly spots the blue car in the parking.
Arrivée d'une Clio démocratique sur le parking de la Cité. Je confirme.
All Clément has to do now is wait for Thierry to come out again. The break gives him time to eat his lunch. Two hours pass, when suddenly... Attention everybody, attention everybody. The subject is leaving the house. He's in the parking, and he will certainly get into the car. The girl is getting on with him, and there's a young girl who's behind. Our subject is driving the car, and is now leaving the car park. The chase is on again. Where are they going? Who will they meet? Are they really planning a robbery? The only way to find out is to follow their suspect around the clock. Heading to Paris, Porte de la Villette. No screening vehicle means that Clément is right behind the couple's car. It's very risky. The policeman might be spotted. We're heading back to Paris this way. We're at the roundabout. He's heading off on the second exit towards Aubervilliers. Going past the casino, the center of Aubervilliers, past the casino. Clément prefers to play it safe. He pulls out of the chase. Other cars from the brigade take over. From the suburbs, Thierry and his girlfriend head back into Paris. They've parked close to a cafe in the 17th arrondissement.
Putain, il est où le mec?
Where the hell is he?
D7, D6.
Thierry is with his
Je le vois
girlfriend.
là, il est de dos avec le t-shirt à rayures gris et blanc.
Another man joins them. It could be an accomplice.
Si, c'est bon.
There's a third person, a middle-aged man, 60, 65 years old, wearing a red jumper. They leave and park a little further away in front of an apartment block. In his van, Clément gets closer. Where are you, Vincent? Where are you?
Ouais, donc de la cuve, hein. Arrivée des trois individus à
Three
hauteur du véhicule,
individuals
hein.
at the car. Apparently, the group has gone to meet a fourth man.
Donc on a une rousse.
So there's a person with long red hair and a jacket.
Objectif, on a le pull
A
rouge.
subject, the man in the red jumper, and another person with a grey jacket.
Thierry monte en tant
Thierry
que
is getting onto the
conducteur.
driver's
Le
side.
pull rouge s'en va.
Red jumper is
Le pull
leaving,
rouge
red
s'en
jumper
va.
is leaving.
Le pull rouge s'en va
The
seul.
others are getting into the car.
L'ensemble des autres individus sont dans le véhicule. La Clio fait marche
The
arrière.
Clio is
elle fait marche
reversing, the
arrière.
Clio is reversing.
Elle s'engage
Now
dans
it's
la
heading down the
contre-allée.
slip road.
Donc là,
Who are these men, and what are they doing with Thierry? The policeman's suspicions are aroused by the series of brief street corner meetings. Afterwards, however, Thierry simply returns to his girlfriend's apartment in the Paris suburbs. Cars moving, heading on the D27 towards the center of Aubervilliers. The following evening at police headquarters in Nanterre, to the west of Paris.
Manu, t'as fait des recherches?
You looking for something, Manu? Christophe and his team from the BRI have been on the case all day. The officers have been able to identify 3 members of Thierry's family while he's been out of prison. They check addresses and meeting places. Every detail is recorded from their surveillance operations. So the car is registered in which name? And this is the address he went to yesterday, you see? Okay, good, fine. Well, we could say these are family rendezvous places then, I suppose. Yeah, it's on the street, on the corner of the street, though. We think he might be planning something for this evening or tomorrow evening. Still, we've got the whole week to see what will happen. Even if nothing does happen, then at least we'll have found out his habits and movements, where he meets people, how he behaves in their presence, whether he's nervous or not. Or it will all go into the file and might come in useful later. So it's not a complete waste of time. Every member of the squad has been working on this case for 48 hours, day and night surveillance, working in shifts. Jean-Jacques has just come on duty, joining the team in the suburb of Paris that is one of Thierry's rendezvous points. The police have lost contact, which is why they're watching all Thierry's known haunts.
C'est reparti.
Okay, let's get ready, as they say. You'll be taking the tour. Been in the police long? 22 years now.
Et motivé comme au premier jour.
And it's a passion for you, right? Well, if it isn't, you're not cut out for it.
Tu fais pour ce métier.
Jean-Jacques is watching the street where a known accomplice of Thierry lives. The accomplice has also served time for robbery. It's the start of another long night for the men of the BRI, who are often stuck in their cars like this for hours at a time.
On s'emmerde royalement.
It can get incredibly boring, but it's all part of the job. There are hours and hours of waiting around and endless routine investigations just for a 30-second adrenaline rush when it's the bust. Jean-Jacques leafs through the case file once more. Is that him in the photo? Yep, that's him. I don't envy him his girlfriend, though. She's a real dog. They're like the Addams family. It's gone midnight, but finally, after a 4-hour stakeout, there's some activity. Thierry has been spotted in the company of 4 other men. The 2 surveillance teams head out towards the Paris Ring Road to reinforce the team that has their target in their sights. There's not a moment to lose. The suspects could be planning a crime for later the same night, so keeping track is crucial. The trail leads to Boulogne-Billancourt, just to the west of Paris, and possibly to the crime. 5 men get out of their car. Their behavior is strange. The police watch as they go behind a guardrail and then stroll along a shopping street. They've left their cars parked on the main road over there and seem to be interested in a door to the apartment block that leads into a shop behind. What they seem interested in is this jeweler's shop, The 5 men circle the shop for several hours, apparently studying it in great detail and sizing up the neighborhood.
Il tape ou merde?
In the end, the men do nothing, finally leaving at 4 in the morning and head home. For Jean-Jacques and his colleagues at the BRI, their suspicions about Thierry are virtually confirmed. To me, that was a recce. They were to have a good look at everything and could well carry out the robbery tonight. Thierry has to report back to prison in 2 days. At police headquarters the following evening, the team are having dinner in their office. Pizza, kebabs, and sandwiches. And coffee, lots of coffee, the magic ingredient for another long, late night at work. If all goes the way the police think it will, tonight's the night of the robbery. Listen, you and Titi, you split up, one on each side. Christophe passes out last-minute instructions. Tension rises as 0 hour approaches. The officers check their equipment and set off. To catch their suspects red-handed, they take an impressive amount of kit. If he heads back, we're not going to miss him this time. All 40 officers in the brigade are mobilized, and almost 30 vehicles head off for Boulogne-Billancourt. Each man knows what he has to do. And for some, like Christophe, it's their second straight night without sleep. Don't you get tired? Yes, but hopefully this will be the last night like this.
Il y a peu de chance, ça sera la dernière de la semaine. Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça?
What's this then? Billy, my warning light's on. Is there still antifreeze in the engine or not? But not break down or anything stupid, Billy, because you'll be hearing from me.
J'espère pour toi, tu vas m'entendre.
Emmanuel arrives in another police car. He'll be playing a crucial part in tonight's activities.
Cette nuit, les gars se sont garés dans cette avenue.
Our teams have parked on the avenue here tonight.
Et donc les deux commerces qu'ils ont
So the two stores they were checking out over there are to our right.
La bijouterie.
There's the jewelers, and just beyond it, the perfume shop. Just beyond the jewelers, there's a perfume shop. Perfume sells well on the black market. On this kind of operation, do you tell the owners of the shops what's going on? No, we don't tell them, because A, we're not 100% sure, and B, we might not be able to make the charges stick if we didn't catch them in the act of robbery. So sometimes we have to tell people, like when we know an armored car is about to be attacked. We'd stop an attack like that by either rerouting the armored car or letting the company know. Because there's too many risks involved in something like that if we didn't. But this is a straightforward case of robbery, where we can arrest them with their hand in the till, as it were. There won't be too much damage, just when they break in, and that will be covered by the insurance anyway. The main point now is to put these hardened criminals behind bars for a while.
Une équipe quand même de casseurs a priori assez chevronnés, quoi.
You know them well?
Alors l'équipe,
Know them? Well, 2 or 3 of them have records as long as your arm. We know since we confirmed their identities last night. The other 2, well, we'll see. But certainly the other 3 are well known for breaking and entering. It's their speciality. So I guess, yes, you could say that we know them.
Tous connus pour ce genre de choses, hein, des spécialistes du vol effraction. Donc oui, c'est une très belle équipe. Hein.
It's 10 o'clock. Everything is in place. Whatever road the suspects take, they can be observed. But this is the most strategic place for observation. Front row seats.
Elle est située là, pile en face, hein, donc voilà, le comptoir.
Here we are. Get a great view from up here. There's the jewelers.
Et juste à gauche,
and over there is Sephora, the perfume shop.
On les a vus repérer hier soir.
This is where we saw them on their recce last night.
Par le numéro 50,
trying to get in through the door at 191. And we think they'll try going in that way tonight as well, both to the jewelers and the perfumers. It's just a matter of sitting tight now. And it's past midnight. We'll see if our guests of honor show up. Emmanuel keeps his eyes fixed on the jewelers. His partner, Jean-Pierre, has a grandstand view of all the comings and goings on the street. If the criminals break in tonight, it will be the evidence from these 2 officers that will likely prove decisive in any court case. Any policeman will tell you the same thing. Catching the criminal in the act is the best it can get. The icing on the cake. It makes all the hours of watching, waiting, and hanging about worthwhile. We haven't wasted our time all those hours. From the moment they arrive until we bust them, it's the best thing there is. I mean, that's why I joined the BRI, for moments such as these. Shortly before 1 a.m., the suspects are spotted approaching Boulogne-Billancourt. Grey 406 leaving Port-Saint-Cloud and heading for Boulevard de la Reine. Copy. 406 on its way. This is it, guys. Stand by. It's a red alert for the police. A second car spotted the evening before and belonging to the suspects is also known to be heading towards Boulogne. Astra station wagon arriving at the Port-Saint-Cloud. 2 cars on their way. 3 people in the Astra and 2 in the 406. Astra is leaving Victor Hugo, heading for Marcel Samba. That's it, the Astra, right? Astra is on Rue Jean Jaurès in front of the presumed target. Astra has now parked. 3 passengers are now on foot near the 2 stores. So now we have 3 individuals. The first, blue trousers, hands in pockets, has white sneakers, and a blue top, a bit like a football shirt. The second is in jeans, a black dark jacket. The third in jeans with a grey top. They're taking their time. They have nothing in their hands, however. They're not carrying bags or anything else. That guy in the middle, he's a big lad. Did you see him? No, I've not seen him before. Here they are, they're having a look. I see them going past. They've checked out the interiors there. But they're still walking along, slowly, towards the Marcel Samba. You saw how they took a good look, right? 15 minutes later, they return. But this time, there are only 2 of them. Okay, now have visual contact. They're about 50 meters from the presumed objective. Watch out, mind out now. Don't move, watch your shadows, guys. They're looking at the door. They've stopped near the phone booths. The two men are at the bus stop. Repeat, at the bus stop. They're looking at the alarm on the perfume shop, facing the boutique and looking at the alarm. The big guy is crossing over to the other side of the pavement. Only have visual contact with one individual now. Okay, one guy's just going in. He's the guy in the dark blue top. The men seem to go inside without using an entry code. They may have disabled the door on their previous visit. Okay, two individuals now at the entrance. They've stopped. Second and third guy going in now. We have three men inside now. But they had nothing. They weren't carrying a thing with them. Oh, the lights come in on the corridor. The light in the corridor is on. Over. At precisely this moment, Christophe, staked out inside his car, overhears a message from the local police station. Security systems indicated an alarm has been set off. Intruders in the basement. The alarm's gone off. The security guards will be here soon. Damn. The whole operation risks being blown, so Christophe phones police headquarters. Yeah, it's for the security guards. We're on a surveillance stakeout at the jeweler's store where the alarms have gone off. Please do not intervene. Understood? Understood. We'll let the man in charge know. The operation can continue undisturbed. And a few seconds later... Actually, it wasn't at this jeweler's shop. It was at another one. The alarm's gone off at another. At the other end of this avenue. Well, why would the alarm have gone off? Are there two break-ins? No, not necessarily. I mean, the other one could have gone off by mistake. The light has been switched off inside. I can see shadows heading towards the door. Three individuals behind the door now. One is taking a peek outside and leaving. First guy is leaving, the second guy is leaving, heading towards Marcel Samba Square. The third man is still inside. Repeat, still inside. Looks like there are two of them down there. There were four of them altogether. Two have left. There's a fourth individual still inside then. They're on the pavement, just going past the pharmacy. They've still got nothing in their hands. The surveillance teams see the men getting back into their car. But soon afterwards, they come back again. They're opening the door, and the two guys are back inside. Look, there is a bag down there. Look, there it is. Okay, looks like they're leaving now. Just one individual, black overalls, white sneakers. The second man is opening the door now, holding it open. Third and fourth guy leaving with looks like a shopping trolley. Two individuals heading separately towards Marcel Samba now, and the guy with the trolley is heading towards the 406. The 406 is doing a U-turn on the avenue. Okay, let's go. One of the cars has done a U-turn. It may be going to pick up one of the suspects. Emmanuel and Jean-Pierre follow the car closest to them. Where is he? Yeah, I saw him. Is he here? That's him over there. The arrest has to be carefully coordinated, with all the police cars arriving at the same time. I've got him. Yeah, go and look for the Astra, the other guys. Don't move. One man was inside the car. As a precaution, the police stop all the traffic.
Ouais, c'est reçu, les 30 assurent la 406.
The man they have arrested was not at the scene of the crime. He was the getaway driver and had remained in the car. A few streets away, the police intercept the second car. The 4 other suspects are arrested. It's Thierry and 3 relatives. But there's no sign of anything they may have stolen. And there's nothing in the car either. In fact, there's no proof of anything. Going in and out of an entrance hall is in itself not a crime. But in that same corridor, the police make a strange discovery. A hole has been dug below the elevator, and it leads straight to the jeweler's shop. The hole wasn't there when the police checked the premises earlier that day. Do you have any gear, the 406, or not? We're checking. In the boot of the first car, the police find a vital clue. Inside is a pneumatic jack.
C'est un V1, c'est ça? Ouais. Ouais, V1 de 36.
It's a sophisticated tool, which when used to dig holes, makes virtually no sound at all. Why did the thieves leave with no jewels? The police believe the explanation is an electronic box they uncovered when they were digging the hole. The thieves must have thought it was a sophisticated alarm system, but in fact, it's just a room freshener. Despite the absence of any loot, in the eyes of the law, a crime has been committed: attempted breaking and entering. The 5 suspects are taken to the police station. The operation has been a success. Early the following morning, in the offices of the Judicial Police Force. The police will now question the suspects. Caught red-handed, this man admits his guilt. He's the getaway driver who had stayed in his car. So you were in the car and that's where you stayed, right? You saw them cross the road with a bag and go into the building? Where the jeweler shop is? Yes. So I got into my car, then what? You see them, that, you know, when we talk things over like this, we're able to get the right facts down on paper. In the office next door, Thierry, the man who is on leave from prison and who the police have been following for 2 days, is being far less cooperative. He denies taking part in the attempted robbery. Anything else you'd like to add from what you've told me?
No.
Well, all I'm saying is it wasn't me. Look, I'm being straight with you. If I had done something, I would tell you. So it's your friends that are lying, is that right? I don't know. Listen, there's a lovely, great hole in the corridor where you just went to the toilets before. The suspect claims it was in the corridor, but only to relieve himself. So what have you been doing all week since you were allowed out of prison? I go for walks, take fresh air, you know. Oh, you go for walks at 2 in the morning? In the corridor right next to a jeweler's shop? Great. So you didn't by any chance notice there was a jeweler's shop right next door, did you? Listen, this is the last time I'm going to interview you. You're just playing up, but that's your business. Tomorrow you'll be sent down. In yet another office, one of Thierry's accomplices takes the same line. You tell me, quote, "You just went into the corridor to go to the toilet, just like my brother, and then I used a piece of paper and I put it in the bin." We only went into the corridor, my brother and I, to have a crap. Is that right? After we left the corridor, we got back in the car and we were arrested. Well, whatever, we're innocent. This is no good, you know. It's your future that's at stake. I've got nothing to do with anything. Well, that's what you say, but we don't agree. And the information that we have shows that we are right and that you're wrong. So if there's a lie here, it's you.
Quand tu dis, je dis la
Well,
vérité,
when you say,
etc.,
I'm telling you the truth, you're insulting me and the work of my colleagues, and my work too. Never mind though, that's fine.
C'est pas grave, hein. C'est pas grave.
I never insulted you.
Nous, on sera payé par la sanction qu'apportera la justice.
Listen, we'll see what justice decides.
T'es bien rentré dans le numéro 80.
So you went into the building?
Tu sais que tous tes copains, ils reconnaissent que...
Well, you know that your buddies all admit going into that building.
Ok.
The one next to the jeweler's shop,
T'as
right?
cassé le mur pour l'instant.
I'm not saying that you made the hole, I'm not saying that. But you did go into the corridor because your friends have told us.
Nous, on te voit.
They've said so.
Moi, je suis pas rentré sans...
Well, they're lying then. I never went inside.
Explique-toi.
Well, how come they said you did? Well, they're lying.
T'ont vu.
They saw you.
Sondé.
What are they? Liars.
Les policiers t'ont
And the
vu.
police saw you.
Sondé.
What are the police? Liars.
Les policiers sont des
So the
menteurs.
police are liars. I'll write that down, okay? No, I didn't mean that.
Quand même que tu te rends compte que
Listen,
t'as-
you know you're just talking rubbish, right? You went into the corridor, agreed?
Je t'ai vu faire.
I saw you. We all saw you.
On est quatre.
4 of us saw you, so don't play games with me.
Tu t'es fait niquer, t'es fait niquer. Soit
You've been
tu me dis,
pinched.
j'ai rien à dire, et on
Either you tell me,
soit tu me
I have
dis,
nothing more to
j'ai
say, and we stop it right now, or you tell me, I do have something to say. I don't care, but right now we're just going round in circles.
Ils étaient là. Donc hier, t'es rentré au centre pour voir comment c'était.
So you went in yesterday, right? You went to have a look first. Why'd you go? Do you want to buy an apartment
C'est lui qui
there?
est rentré au centre, qu'est-ce que t'allais foutre là-dedans?
Then you went back again this morning.
Soir, en partant,
Last night, the owner of the shop closed everything up. And this morning, when he opens up, you'll find a nice big hole in the wall.
Il y a un trou dans le mur. Hier soir, on vous a surveillé.
We were watching last night.
Les seuls qui sont rentrés au
The only people that went in
et qui ont accès à ce putain de
is
mur,
the ones
c'est vous.
where the wall was, is you lot.
Rentrer, sortir, rentrer.
You spent all night going in and out, in and out.
Mais
But you didn't knock the wall down.
c'est le mur pour qu'il tombe. C'est pas
Which is funny because there's 40 cops who saw 5 bastards in 2 cars, but of course it wasn't you.
Allô,
Hello?
t'endors pas? Qu'est-ce que t'as été foutre là-bas?
What were you doing? I don't know anything. It's nothing to do with me.
Parce que les autres ont été foutre là-bas.
So what did the others go down to do there? What were you doing there?
Je ne sais pas ce qui s'est passé.
I don't know what happened inside. I went in, but I didn't know or see anything. Do you want me to write that down?
C'est idiot, hein, mais je le marque.
Stupid, but I can write it down if you like, no problem.
Est-ce que
Maybe
c'est-
stupid, but it's the
Alors,
truth.
si c'est la vérité, tu me dis oui, c'est ça,
Well,
alors,
if that's what really happened,
mais tu me le
then
dis.
you tell me. Yes, that's it.
Bon. Hop, tiens là.
Okay, listen up, you.
Donc, Thierry qui sur interpellation
So,
successive
cousin of
déclare
Thierry,
question
who's been
d'innocence
telling us
du
during the interviews. Now, can you read more slowly, please? Okay, he's been telling us in the interviews. Question, do you agree with me that you say you never intended stealing from the jeweler shop? Throughout their interviews, the suspects refuse to confess, and Thierry tries provoking the police. Well, if we were in the hallway, like you say, why didn't you arrest us straight away?
C'est ce qu'on lui fait.
Well, as far as I know, it's not illegal to be in a hallway. But what you do once you're inside may be illegal. Well, you should have arrested us right in front then. Are you telling us how to do our job? You might think we don't do our jobs properly. You'll find out, though.
Enfin, pour info, si nous on fait mal notre boulot, en tout cas,
Moi, je sais que je
ça nous viendrait pas l'idée de monter au braco avec nos voitures. Ça, en tout cas,
Anyway, if we weren't doing our jobs properly,
pourtant pour un mec qui a de la
we wouldn't think of staging a robbery using our own cars. I don't think that's too clever.
Ouais, bah c'est sûr.
Still, someone with your reputation.
Les gens nient comme ça. Bah, nier l'évidence.
Does it make you cross when they deny everything like that? Well, sure, when they deny everything, when we have the evidence, when we know for a fact that they did it, it's like, well, you know, we've been following them for a week, and yeah, it does make us cross. But they're a bunch of nobodies. Eventually they'll confess.
Ils valent rien.
C'est ce que va lui dire son avocat, je pense. Hein.
They'll probably have the same conversation with their lawyer.
Connaît sa faute
I mean, it's best for them to admit their guilt,
et qui
because if you admit your guilt, it's a form of repentance.
de repentir que quelqu'un qui se borne.
But to go on stubbornly denying everything when it's obvious you're guilty, well, it just makes it worse.
Ni complètement, bon, c'est leur stratégie, je sais pas si.
But that's their strategy. They're denying everything. It's not the greatest plan. It's not going to get them anywhere.
Ça mène nulle part.
C'est ridicule.
It's ridiculous.
Je pense qu'il espère toujours que
He thinks that since they didn't actually have any loot with them when we arrested them, they might still get away with it. But the others are talking.
Ah, merci.
Don't forget the papers. Oh.
Ça sera intégrant de ta fouille.
Thierry, on leave from prison and a repeat offender, was nearing the end of his sentence. He now faces the possibility of several more years in jail. The suspects will be transferred to a court in the suburbs of Paris. During the trial, Thierry and his accomplices will finally acknowledge their part in the attempted robbery. They're currently in prison, awaiting trial. A few days later, in the Paris suburb of Val-de-Marne, and the police are on the hunt for forged papers. Philippe is staking out a public transport depot and has to take great care. He's trying to discreetly listen in as a deal is being struck. An intermediary with criminal connections is expected to show up any moment to see a man who is an expert forger. The meeting is scheduled to take place near the house of the man who is the buyer. At the same time, other police officers are following the man who they suspect is the forger. They keep Philippe informed by walkie-talkie. The subject is on a motorbike. The suspect has left his house, and Philippe has to remain vigilant to make sure he doesn't miss his arrival.
Donc là, on a l'objectif qui arrive.
Copy that. There's our guy arriving now. He's on foot. He must have left his motorbike a little further back. The suspect is a computer expert aged about 50. He's currently unemployed and has already served time for fraud and the use of forged papers. He's meeting with a man who sells on his handiwork. He's the man in black. His profile is different from the computer experts. He's a known criminal and was imprisoned for attempted homicide and armed hold-up. The two men have been tailed by the police before, but today's meeting is considered especially important. While witnessing a meeting between the man who has the order and the forger himself is obviously an essential piece of evidence. We'll be following up, trying to actually see when the forged papers are handed over at a second meeting. So it is very important for us. Copy that. We've seen the contact. He has now gone inside. We don't know exactly where. So if you get a visual... Oh, hang on, look. He's already coming out again. Wait. The go-between is accompanied by his son. The meeting between the two men is over, and Philippe was not able to listen in or watch their conversation. But it's thought the intermediary came to finalize his order. In a couple of days, the suspect is likely to deliver the false identity papers. The police unit specializing in forged documents is on the 5th floor of the headquarters of the Judicial Police. The 8 men who work here are the country's top experts on forged identity cards and other civil documents. Passports, driving licenses, visas, identity cards, all of these documents can be forged. Pierre is the head of the specialized unit. He's been hunting forgers for more than 20 years. 2 dangerous criminals who had recently escaped from prison were recaptured in possession of false identity papers. The papers may have been false, but were of outstanding quality. And according to the police, the suspect they are following is likely to be the man that made them. When they were picked up, they had false papers, as you can well imagine, since they were on the run, having just escaped from prison. And when the officers who caught them showed us the papers, we were convinced they were real. In fact, they weren't, but every single detail was there. It was amazing. Even the grooves and the small punch holes. Impeccable. So that made you think, well, it made us think that while it looks real, surely if you pass it through the ultraviolet security light and you look, then a false identity document will glow. A bit like a white shirt in a nightclub, you know. It's the kind of thing that girls like. But it's also the kind of thing that the border police like too. So when they were arrested, their papers were checked with ultraviolet light. It's a bit like the way they forge bank cards. But this card is so close to genuine that it doesn't react under a UV lamp, something that is extremely rare for a forgery. And there are some more surprises in store for the police. The quality of the paper was brilliant. Is that very good? Well, listen, this will allow you to travel more or less anywhere you like. In my opinion, this would get you through most police and border controls. Potentially, these papers can be extremely dangerous. For now, it's not related to Islamic extremism, but criminal gangs. But you could be someone who's on the run, or a drug trafficker, or just a fraudster, and you could open any bank accounts wherever. So what made you realize that it wasn't real? There's just one tiny fault, and that's the accent on the letter E in the word Republic. It's just slightly out of place. If you compare it to an authentic identity card, you can see it's central. But on the false one, the accent is just a tiny bit out of place there. The police have been investigating this case for 6 months. Their first lead led nowhere, but this time they're convinced they have their man. The meeting that they witnessed between the suspect and the go-between confirms their suspicions. In a few days' time, the police are hoping to get their hands on the best forger in France. Two days later, in the Paris suburbs, the order for the false documents had been made 48 hours before. The suspect is expected to arrive at any moment. The police have set themselves up in an empty apartment just opposite the house where the suspect lives. It's a great view. The police will record everything that happens. The camera is mounted on an articulated boom and placed on the ground. It can see without being seen. The camera is hooked to a monitor, and conditions for this stakeout are perfect. Can't really do much better than this, because we're hidden here and we can see the objective very clearly. It's great. Jeremy and Frank are not the only policemen on the site. Other members of the force are scattered around the house, all of them ready to follow the suspect if he leaves. There's our chum. The man is taking out his garbage cans. So far, there is little to interest the police. But just a few moments later, stand by everybody, the suspect is about to leave. He's holding a file in his left hand. It looks like he's going into his study, but he's still inside the grounds. This study or workplace is where the police believe he makes his forged documents. It's what the police call his office, and it may be where the go-between will come and pick up what he's ordered. If the intermediary arrives, then we'll let them meet. But when he leaves, that's when we'll make our arrest.
Procédera à son interpellation.
For several hours, the police keep an eye on the TV monitor. But nothing happens. The man remains out of sight in his office. After 9 hours, there's still no sign of movement, and no one knows how long this day will drag on for.
T'avais pas une PS2?
Ça nous plaît, hein, ce qu'on fait.
We like what we do.
Il y a personne qui nous a forcé
No one forced us to do this.
à entrer dans ce genre de service, hein.
We're
C'est nous
very
qui
motivated.
sommes motivés et on est volontaires
In
pour
fact,
le
we're all
faire, donc,
volunteers,
il faut,
and so it's not
faire
up to
un
us to
effort.
start complaining about it.
Néanmoins,
Still, we do see the other policemen in the force. They do have a bit more of a life, maybe, in some ways.
beaucoup plus que nous.
Because, let's make no mistake, we do spend most of our time working.
Pas se tromper. On rentre chez nous souvent, c'est pour.
When we do go home, it's really just to change clothes or get some sleep or eat.
Et puis pour manger.
Certainly, our private lives can suffer.
Ça
That's for sure.
occasionne, des problèmes dans notre environnement, c'est sûr qu'il y a des dommages. C'est certain, c'est évident.
At 11 o'clock at night, and the suspect has gone inside, probably to sleep. The policemen give up their stakeout for the time being. The meeting may happen the next morning, and the investigators will report for duty again at 8 the following morning. Just a few hours sleep later, and the police are back on the job. Jeremy and Frank are inside the apartment, from which they have a grandstand view. As far as they're concerned, the morning gets off to a good start. From another stakeout position, the go-between has been spotted and appears to be heading towards the suspect's house. Watch it, everybody. There's Fred in the 94. He's come out on his scooter.
Ouais, bien reçu, Pierre.
Understood, Pierre.
Bonne nouvelle.
Good news.
Ouais, il est parti là de Planques.
So he's left,
Donc,
He's either
soit
going to
il
be
vient
heading
en
this way,
ici, soit il rentre chez lui,
or he might be going home. Whatever, we're
On
ready.
est prêt.
Doré, sorry, he's going by the Porte Doré. Porte Doré? That's no good.
Porte dorée, après.
Oh no, actually that is okay. The Porte Doré is just after the Porte Vincennes, yes. He's arriving on the circular road near the woods. He's moving quickly. I'm not sure which way he's
C'est
gone.
reçu, hein.
Copy. The go-between was indeed heading towards the suspect's house, but the policemen lose him. So now Jeremy and Frank are on the lookout. If there really will be a meeting between the two men, the suspect forger will make his move soon.
Ouais, au dispo, là. Notre
Stand by.
objectif, il est-
Our suspect
il est
is in his
pour,
courtyard
il est
fiddling
avec
about
sa
with his
ferme,
motorbike.
son deux roues.
Copy that. Jeremy doesn't want to miss his departure, so he gets closer.
Ah, pour info, là, au dispo, là, il a démarré
He
sa-
started
sa
up his
moto,
motorbike.
démarré sa
He
moto.
started up his motorbike. Jeremy, what shall we do? Should I come back and pick you up or something?
Bah non, t'auras pas le temps, Laurence.
No, it's okay, Laurence. You wouldn't have enough time. We'll ask Fred to take up the chase.
Ouais, au dispo, l'objectif est casqué, là. Il
Okay,
tient
the
quelque
suspect
chose
has
de
put his
blanc,
helmet on.
là, il le met dans la
He's
poche
holding
de son-
something white in
sa
his
veste.
hand and putting it into his jacket pocket.
Allez, c'est parti.
He's leaving. Stand by, Fred.
Ça va venir vers
He's
toi.
heading
ça,
your
ça
way.
va venir vers toi. Allez, confirmé, Fred, ça vient
Watch
vers
out,
toi.
there
ça
he
vient
is.
vers toi. C'est à l'intersection maintenant.
Fais gaffe, il est là. Attends.
But at the crossroads, Fred's car has to wait at a red light. It's now up to Didier on his motorbike to take up the chase. As he starts up, the suspect suddenly does a U-turn back to his house.
Ouais, ça redémarre, ça continue tout droit.
He's heading back. Didier stops following the suspect after the roundabout. He doesn't want to be seen, so it's up to Laurence to pick up the trail.
Merde. Il continue tout droit, il continue
He's going
tout
straight,
droit.
he's going straight. In fact, the suspect has not gone back home. His about turn may have been a way to make sure he wasn't being followed.
Oh, God.
Damn it. The man has disappeared. At this stage of the inquiry, the police have lost trace of both the men they were following. Their operation might be blown. They might miss the meeting and the exchange of the documents.
Il a dû prendre à gauche.
He must have turned left. Well, hang on, why left? That's where he came from. I know, but I saw him going straight down, and then after that I lost him. By the time we got here, he was gone.
Après, le temps qu'on arrive, nous, c'était, on l'a plus.
But the police have a backup plan. They know the two men often meet in a brasserie on the edge of Paris. It's their last chance. Didier and Pierre are already there, but so far there's no sign of them. Pierre meets up with Laurence in her car. Laurence was the last person to have seen the suspect, and so is likely to get the blame for losing him. There are certain days when you have to follow your suspect. Pierre. No, listen. No, they told me he was going back home. Well, I heard it at the same time. I wasn't really convinced. You see? So why did I stop and have a look? It's because I thought it was the thing to do. So where was he then? Well, listen, you just have to speed up. Well, I did speed up. Listen, while you were the first, you knew it was up to you. Yeah, I know that it was up to me. You step up a gear, and then he's gone. The motorbike should have caught up, but that's not your fault.
Prudence, je suis montée.
C'est pas de la prudence, c'est de l'accélération qu'il fallait.
Didier, go and take a look there near the refuse truck. It looks like one of the guys. I don't think it's him. There's a motorbike there. No, it's someone else's. The police are losing hope. Pierre is under pressure, and he joins Fred, another member of the team, to make one last attempt to track the suspects. I'm surrounded by idiots. Come on now, relax. The police check to see whether their suspect may have gone back home. And parked just outside, a motorbike they believe to be his. It's him. No, he's in black. I don't think it is. Do you notice what color his helmet was before? Was it green?
Est-ce que c'est bien son casque, un casque vert militaire un peu?
A green one?
Non, mais c'est lui, c'est
No, I didn't notice, no. Short grey hair. I think it's him, you know. It seems their suspect has indeed returned to his house. Another call confirms the go-between is also inside. Pierre readies his team for the bust.
When
the ball guy reaches his motorbike, then Fred, who's not that far, well, then you can move in and make the arrest. And the rest of us will go inside and pick up the other guy. Laurence, you come with us to the house. Double park and then follow up. Copy that, Fred. We have two individuals who've left the house and gone into the office. So stand by. They're in the office. Copy? So you finally tracked them down. Seems to be the case. The meeting we expected is happening right now. And if nothing happens inside, then we're really screwed up. But based on our earlier hunch, I think we've got the case. Pierre, however, suggests a different tactic. To prevent the men from destroying the evidence, he'd rather make the arrest outside. Two policemen station themselves just outside the gate, with two others in the entrance hall of the building opposite.
Vous êtes stressé là?
Are you worried?
Non.
Impatient?
Are you impatient?
Petite excitation, disons.
A bit.
J'ai le droit de dire une DME? Non, je l'ai pas le droit.
C'est quoi une DME?
Une demi-molle exploitable, ça tu peux pas le passer.
locaux.
Au dispositif de frais.
He's crossing the courtyard and heading to the office alone.
Direction de l'atelier. Daisy a son casque à la main.
He's holding his helmet. He might be leaving soon. Slowly moving this way. He's pressed the buzzer to open the gate. Wait, stand by, stand by. He's going back inside now. He's in the courtyard. He's now gone into the office. He was heading back to his house, but the other guy's gone inside with him now too. He's leaving the office, over by the left. He's pressing the buzzer. He's coming out of the gate, pushing, gate's open. Let's go!
Police, police. Personne ne bouge, police! Bouge pas, police.
Falk, rien de dangereux, rien d'interdit sur toi.
Bouge plus, ça va. Tranquille.
Allez.
The police keep the two men apart to stop them communicating. Yeah, look after him for a couple of minutes, will you? Were you scared? No, but I just saw someone coming straight for me, so I was surprised. Right, you're under arrest. We've picked you up for illegal trafficking or something. We'll see. Where do you live? Tell me what's yours here and what isn't. Do you live alone? Here? Are you on your own? Yeah, apart from my kid. Is he here? Don't worry, we're from the police. There was just a little argument outside. Everything is fine. Listen, I'm not going to turn your house upside down. I just want to look around for a bit. Show me the stuff you work with. There's my gear there. And this is your study, right? Yes. What about behind here? What do you keep there? Well, when I go there, it's just to go and see the people who I know. But when you come, when you went down there before, just twice, in fact, you went there and you came back again. Well, what do you do? The computer looks perfectly ordinary. No sign it might be used by a forger. Listen, I'm not going to do you any favors, my friend. Everybody does what they do, that's life. But I'm going to turn you over, and I'm going to look around until I find what I'm looking for. I know what you sell, what you make. I'll find it. I'm being fair with you. You've got a kid. Make it easy on yourself. I'm trying to cooperate. Just show us your gear. Be a good boy, and it'll be better for your kid. So what you've done is done, so let's just get the stuff and leave, okay? You understand me? It's up to you. But if I find the stuff, don't worry, and I know it's here. I know I'll find it. The man continues to deny everything. Pierre is outside where the intermediary is being held. He wants to look through his stuff. This is yours then, is it? Is it yours? These are forged identity papers, aren't they? How many of these do you have? The suspect has a long police record and is a known member of the underworld. Pierre goes back into the alleged forger's house. The search has turned up something interesting. Wads of banknotes scattered on a desk. The police believe they're from several different accounts, probably opened using false ID papers and salary slips. Their suspect has received loans that will never be repaid, since he's opened the accounts using false identities. But despite this, the suspect has yet to understand why the police are on his case. He's taken to his office outside in this disused factory at the end of the courtyard.
Merci. Ça, c'est à vous, madame, ça.
Inside, however, are several different workspaces and offices.
Elle tourne à l'envers. C'est la ronde à l'envers. C'est marqué entrée au personnel et il y a la clé là. Et tu le fais ouvrir.
However, one entrance in particular catches the police's attention.
Pierre, là-bas. Je sais que t'as tout là. Alors, me fais pas le
It's
cinéma.
here, look, everything is here. It's what the police have been looking for in their 8-month-long investigation.
Là, c'est une usine. Je sais même pas ce que c'est. Oui, mais je sais bien.
It turns out to be a treasure trove.
Quoi?
And one of the policemen uncovers a photograph that directly links the suspect to the site.
Non, mais
What's
c'est
this
toi
place
qui
then?
utilises
It's not mine.
le local et c'est toi qui
But you're the fellow that uses it, right? Well, I sometimes use it.
t'appartient.
Everything here belongs to you? It's not mine, I just come in here sometimes. But most of what's here, like the computers, all this gear, all the stuff for the computers and the tools, that's all yours, right?
Qu'est-ce qu'il fait tous ces ordinateurs?
Why has he got all these computers and things?
Qu'est-ce qu'il fait tous ces ordinateurs?
What do you do with these things?
Ça, pour un bureau, c'est un vrai bureau. Hein. Bah, d'habitude, on trouve un ordinateur, lui, il en
You'd
a
expect to
6.
see one computer here, but he's got 6 of them. The police are stunned by what they've found. In his 20 years of uncovering forgers and their handiwork, Pierre's never seen anything quite as sophisticated as this. They refer to the suspected forger as the artist.
Vas-y, rentre, rentre.
Félicitations, monsieur.
Congratulations on your office, my friend. He deserves some respect. We knew he had this place and that he probably had a lot of equipment, but nothing as good as this. The equipment is certainly impressive. A cutting table, which is backlit. An ultraviolet light in a suitcase, used for scanning official documents. And a top-quality lamination device. There are all sorts of colors and glues, ink cartridges that the man used to fill syringes with, and a variable optic ink, a perfect reproduction of that used in official documents. Everything here appears dedicated to making forgeries, right down to inside the toilets, which have been turned into a laboratory with ultraviolet light. The workshop is almost a perfect reproduction of a government printing works. But the suspected forger continues to deny everything. So what does all this stuff do? Listen, we're going to make a summary over the next 48 hours and we'll sift through everything that's here. I make videos and play with images and pictures. I'm what you might call a computer freak.
Je suis un peu ce qu'on appelle un fou de l'informatique et...
Du graphisme.
And you like graphics too?
Je fais beaucoup de photos.
Well, I make lots of digital photographs. It's my hobby. All you need to do is check the hard disk, you'll see.
Tout ce qui a été fait. Tu connais le système, de toute façon.
Well, you know the system pretty well, huh?
De quoi?
Of what? About papers? No, I make photographs.
Un peu de papier.
And some papers, I'm sure. Listen, in any case, we're going to have a good look around. And I know what you use them for. We've already grabbed some. The other guy had 2 on him. And I must say, they're excellent quality. What did he have 2 of?
Qu'est-ce qu'il a sur lui?
Identity cards.
2 cartes d'identité.
Of course.
Voilà son nom. C'est le malin. C'est pas grave.
No, it's not funny, actually. Oh, we've got time, don't worry. Listen, we're not going to play this game of cat and mouse for long. You've had it, and you know it. So we can carry on playing, but you'll need to explain yourself sooner or later here. You can carry on saying it's not you. I did nothing. You know what I mean? But it's not the story that will hold up for long.
Je comprends ce que je veux dire. Mais bon, ta défense va pas durer longtemps. Hein?
The policemen have discovered some perforations used for identity documents with the initials RF. It's just photographs. It's part of my research. These are plates that I use to draw with, that kind of thing. You know, it's a tool.
Du dessin, n'importe quoi où c'est que j'ai besoin de support dur.
Et donc ça sert notamment...
So you use it for what? For the RF?
Bah oui.
No, but it's for someone that has these initials. Yeah, I'm sure his name is French Republic.
Avec le même écartement.
Look, you got the same spacing with little holes. The search is almost over, and the police prepare the equipment and the proof to take with them. There's so much stuff, in fact the largest haul in the brigade's history, that a small truck has to be called in. In the meantime, Pierre calls his supervisor.
Ouais, bon, c'est bon. Hein.
No, everything is fine, sir. It's like an entire factory.
Je sais pas comment m'en sortir.
There's so much stuff. I've never seen anything like it.
J'ai jamais vu ça. Il y a 6 ordinateurs.
There's at least 6 computers hooked up.
Et puis c'est un vrai pro quoi. Tu vois, c'est
He's a real pro.
Voilà, monsieur.
After 8 months of surveillance, the operation is finally over. But not the policeman's day. They need to begin questioning their suspect. The suspect is going to be interviewed. The police are after a quick confession. But the suspect will continue to deny everything. He's not the gifted forger supplying the underworld with false documents. The interrogation continues the following morning. The man insists he's innocent. The police are studying the banknotes found in his house. The money was withdrawn under the identity of someone called Alan. The police suspect that Alan and the suspect are the same person. Using false IDs, he opened fraudulent accounts. But the suspect claims that Alan is a friend who lives in Mexico. This is Alan's cell phone. What, Alan, the guy that gave you his credit card so you could take money out from his accounts? That's the guy, yes. Next door, the police are looking for evidence of the so-called Alan amongst the papers found at the suspect's house. Payslip in Alan's name, a checkbook in Alan's name, and error in the transfer to a foreign account, RCB Austria. Whoa, 2,500 euros, not bad. Austria, Luxembourg, Lithuania. Credit sent abroad to banks in all these places. The police think the suspect used to launder money taken out using his false credit cards and false IDs. And inside this envelope, Fred is about to discover something that will change the nature of the interview. Yeah, look at this face here. 3 identity cards, all with a photo of the suspect and probably used to open 3 different bank accounts. Sir has false accounts. Sir is a crook. Sir is toast. The suspect is confronted with the evidence. Look, here are 3 identity cards. What have you got to say about them? You'd better come clean, if you know what's good for you.
Maintenant, tu vas jouer carte sur table quand même ou pas?
The evidence is hard to deny. I think this completes the picture, so let's stop bullshitting. The game's up. What is it? Well, you tell us. was someone I knew. So you opened accounts in the name of Alan. That's right. Soon afterwards, the suspect caves in and admits having made the false papers. You made 2 IDs with the same identity and with your photo. Just changing your appearance a little bit so that you could take out money and buy things using these cards, right? Where does the money come from? From loans using these false identity papers? How many loans do you have? 2. How much were the loans? 16,000 euros. 2 loans of 16,000 each? No, 8 and 8. And how much of the 16,000 have you used? I don't think there's much money left in the account. So you've blown most of it already. That's right. In total, the police would establish the forger had defrauded various financial institutions of more than 100,000 euros. He also confesses to making and selling all sorts of false documents. ID cards, police cards, driving licenses and tax statements, which he would sell for between 800 and 1,000 euros each. Police believe he made as many as 5 a week. In a nearby office, the go-between also confesses. He admits the 2 false IDs he was caught with were for members of organized crime, but will reveal no names. After 48 hours at the police station, both men are sent to a court in Bobigny, near Paris. The prosecutors ask that they remain in custody, but they are released pending trial. Each face between 3 and 5 years in prison. The Search and Intervention Brigade, the BRI, have been assigned another mission. They're staked out at a suburban Paris parking lot at 5 in the morning. It's a risky job, not without its dangers. Watching 2 men who they believe are planning to rob a bank. As always, they hope to catch them red-handed. The younger of the 2 suspects is a known member of organized crime. The other man is considered extremely dangerous and has a record of violence and armed hold-ups. The authorities believe the 2 men are planning to hold up a bank this morning. They're armed, and police fear innocent people might get hurt. Are those protective clothing? It's a bulletproof vest. We call it tactical because it's made to hold weapons, handcuffs and stuff. And it's not exactly discreet, so on a mission like this it might show who we are. But it's dark and we've got normal clothes on top, so it should work. And once we get the green light, we'll just take off the outer layer of clothing, and then it'll be obvious we're the police. So there'll be no confusion or mix-up with the thugs. For this operation, the police are well armed. This is an HK MP5. It's practical because it has this light like a torch on top. And it's handier when it's dark like this. No, presumably when they see this pointed at them, they won't fight back, right? Well, let's hope so. Doesn't always work, though. The men are waiting for the 2 bank robbers. Some of the officers have a moment or two to gather their thoughts. But Clément and Jérôme are the point men, in constant radio contact. with the teams that are watching the two suspects' homes. On the Rue du Port, heading towards the university, on the left-hand side. Has the other one shown up yet? No. Are the bank employees told about what might be happening? No, they're not told. But our job is to make sure none of them come to any harm. We plan to intercept the robbers as they go in. You never know how it might end up otherwise. Is this a particularly tough mission, or is it just routine? Well, it's part of our job. We're trained for this. We're a team and we're armed, so in theory, we're in good shape. But sure, if you start doubting or getting scared, then you'll risk not just your own life, but that of your colleagues too. It's all planned out in advance. And besides, there are more of us, and there's an element of surprise. Nobody knows about this. They certainly don't. I think surprise is the key factor here. What does your family think about the job? Your wives, families? My wife is in the police too, so let's say we can understand each other. But still, she worries. It's like the little SMS that I get saying, "I can't sleep since you left this morning." Well, listen, I just don't tell my family about this kind of operation in advance. I might tell them about it afterwards. The tension builds. It's now 7:30, and Clément and Jérôme are still waiting to be told the two robbers are on their way. Truck is leaving. Heading for the Rue Nationale. Okay, spread the word, guys. As they wait for the robbers, the police run through their plan once again. So, listen, this is us, and the trucks are here.
Capteur des voyous. Ouais. On va arriver comme ça. Le deuxième zoom là, il va arriver par là. L'avant du deuxième zoom, ça c'est les avants, ok?
Okay, we'll head up this way, the next group that way. And there's the point guy, okay?
Donc toi tu sors ici, tu rejoins.
You come out there.
Florent, vous êtes en protection là. Vous braquez. À ce moment-là,
you come up this way.
Pas de façon sortir, puisque vous les braquez. On sort par là, on fait le tour du camion.
And we'll block them up this way.
On passe par derrière, exactement. Ah bah ouais, attends.
D'accord, ok, ça roule.
20 policemen have been mobilized, stationed in 2 trucks. They know how the suspects will operate. Hidden in the back of a small truck, they'll emerge from the rear and storm the bank. The police plan to block their truck as soon as the suspects arrive. I can see the 2 men. One of them is getting on board. The other is going to the right-hand side of the truck, also getting on board. Okay, good. It's fine. Are we off? Yep, let's go. All right, stay cool, everybody. The 2 police teams approach by different routes to sandwich the robbers' truck. The operation is about to begin. The police arrive behind the bank. The robber's truck is here on the left. Give me your hand. Give me a hand.
Je tiens aussi, hein. Je tiens la deuxième. Je tiens la deuxième. Tiens, je te la donne la main. Tiens la main. Tiens, voilà. Tiens, c'est bon pour toi? C'est bon?
Vous les écartez, vous leur mettez...
Separate them, put the masks over their heads and search them.
Ça sent pas un peu la merde?
Oh, it stinks here. Yeah, you've just put my head in it. Despite his precarious situation, one of the two robbers ironically congratulates the police. The policemen have put hoods over the two suspects to stop them being recognized. The two robbers have been separated to stop them talking to each other. Can you hear me? Listen, we're the judicial police based at Versailles. It's precisely 8:20 a.m. and you are under arrest. You were picked up 5 minutes ago, so at 8:15 a.m. And you've been detained since 8:15. Okay? I'd like to call my lawyer. The high-risk mission is over. No one has been hurt, and not a single shot fired. Good job, that was good. Well done. Well, we're relieved. We feel like we've done a good job. There was some real teamwork. The heavily armed police presence was justified. Inside the small truck, they uncover several weapons. Just before being arrested, the two criminals had jettisoned a .357 Magnum and a .38 caliber pistol. The police also find ammunition. Well, we've clearly prevented an armed robbery, so it's a success. And we've prevented people from being held up, because those weapons must have been in the truck, and it was obviously to stage the hold-up. It would have involved the staff at the back entrance, you see. If they'd been able to get into position, they would have undoubtedly been able to attack the people at the rear entrance. The small bank is in a village in the Val d'Oise. The first member of staff arrives. He's unaware of what has just happened. There was an attempted bank robbery just now. Where? Right here. Where? The bank? Seems to be in fashion, because just last July at Saint-Christophe, there was another one. Well, the police was here keeping watch. What, all last night? No, they knew it was going to happen this morning. Oh, it's this morning? Oh dear, I better let the boss know. The employee is stunned. He realizes he's narrowly escaped, probably being taken hostage. The village is slowly coming to life. For the kids on their way to school, the morning will be one they remember. The police have cordoned off a perimeter and continue the search. The two criminals will be taken to police headquarters. They risk a heavy sentence for attempted bank robbery. For the members of the BRI, it's the third attempted bank raid they have foiled this year alone.